Hello, this is a video about Cheryl's birthday. So if you haven't figured it out yet and you want to figure it out, you can turn it off now because I'm going to reveal what is the correct answer in just a few seconds. This was a really fun puzzle, and I think that once you figure it out, once you realize what it is, you really realize what it is. And there's no question as to what the right answer is. The answer is not up for debate. And after I figured it out, I kind of went back to the New York Times article and read some of the comments on there and was kind of surprised to find people who had the incorrect answer and were so convinced and trying to convince other people on the logic, basing it on assumptions about Albert and Bernard's conversation that actually parts of the conversation that didn't happen, or they reversed the order of the conversation. And so the point is, to solve the problem, we have to use every clue that's given, and only those clues, and in the right order. Now, it's one thing for people to post, a comment on a news website and have the wrong answer, but it's another thing when some of these other smaller news websites actually post the wrong answer as the correct answer. And so here's what the spoiler is. So if you still want to figure it out on your own, turn it off now. So they were posting that it was August 17th, and the correct answer obviously is July 16th. Anyway, I'm just going to kind of run you through the logic on how you arrive at July 16th, and then why August 17th does not check out. If anyone's taken elementary or middle school or high school math or any other class, one of the things that teachers always tell you to do is to check your work. And so when you arrive at an answer, you should go back to all the clues and see if that it actually matches up. And if it doesn't, then you've made an error somewhere. So it helps to arrange the dates on a table such as this. So we know that Cheryl has a birthday, and Albert and Bernard are her new friends who don't know the birthday. She gives them a list of 10 different dates, which I've arranged on the table for you here. And she then separately whispers to Albert the month of her birthday, and to Bernard she gives the number of the day. And for this problem, their conversation, they figure it out together based on what they know, and they don't reveal what Cheryl has whispered to them at any time. They just, based on what they know the other person knows, are able to figure it out. So the first thing Albert says after Cheryl has whispered to both of them, he says, "I don't know, but neither does Bernard." So it's obvious that Albert doesn't know because he's only been given a month. And, there's 4 different months here. But the fact that Bernard doesn't know gives us some information. So there are 2 numbers here that only occur in 1 month, and that's 18 and 19. So June 18th and May 19th are unique. So we know that June 18th is out, and so is May 19th. So because Bernard knows that, or Albert knows that Bernard doesn't know, that eliminates June and May as possibilities. So if Cheryl had whispered to Albert June, there would have been a possibility in Albert's mind that Bernard actually knew the right answer, because it could have been June 18th. And similarly, if she had whispered May, Albert would have known that there's a distinct possibility that May 19th is Cheryl's birthday. Now, since Albert knows that Bernard doesn't know, we know that Cheryl didn't whisper June or May. So we eliminate all these. We're left with 5 dates. Now the next piece of conversation, Bernard says, "Well, I didn't know at first, but now that I know what you just told me, now I have the answer." So Bernard is figuring this out in his mind as well. He realizes because of what Albert says that he's aware that he himself doesn't know, and aware of these 2 unique numbers. He has the answer in his head already. So that statement alone eliminates 2 numbers here, which is July 14th and August 14th. Because if it had been, if she had whispered 14 to Albert, this would have left him with 2 possibilities, and he still wouldn't have known because he doesn't know the month still. 15, 16, and 17 are still left, and any of these numbers, if Cheryl had whispered any of these numbers, Bernard would have known the birthday. If she had whispered 15, it would have been August 15th. 16 would have been July 16th. If she had whispered 17th, Bernard would have known it was August 17th. And the last piece of information is vital. Once Bernard makes the statement that he knows now, given all the information so far, he says, "Oh, well, now I know." So we know these aren't it. And since Albert knows based on that, we know that Cheryl has whispered July. Because if Cheryl had whispered August to Albert, he would have known it's either August 15th or August 17th. Now, because she whispered July, we know it's the 16th, and that's sort of the reverse order you work to arrive at that conclusion. Now, I can't explain how some of these other places came up with August 17th, but August 17th seems to be this number where there's an assumption that there was more information shared between Albert and Bernard that leaves us to arrive at August 17th. But if we go back and check our work, let's take a scenario that Cheryl has whispered August to Albert and 17 to Bernard. Everything else checks out. I don't know, but neither does Bernard. That would work. We'd still eliminate May and June. And even the second one, I didn't know at first, but now I do, because remember, out of the 5 remaining dates, 17 is a unique number, so Bernard would have known. But the last piece doesn't fit. Albert wouldn't have the answer if it was August 17th. Albert would still be left with August 15th and August 17th. So August 17th is wrong. I hope that was understandable. Feel free to criticize, leave comments, agree, disagree. My point is that this is a cool puzzle because there's an actual answer. It's not up for discussion. And it's nice to have problems like that once in a while.